Thank you. Our invocator is not yet around, Tito Panlilio. The invocation, Ron. Wala pa si Tito. Okay, Comrade Cessa will do our invocation.
Afternoon, everybody. Will you please stand up for the invitation? We gathered here today as member of Rotary and our guests. We pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow to our community. Keep always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and those things on which future generation can build with something. Continue to strive to make a better world.
Our national anthem.
Witness a history in our lifetime as we bring back to life what a true Rotarian should be. Service above self, unity in diversity, and inclusivity, all for one and one for all. This is our chance. This is our time to rise up and be the example of what humanity can achieve. Together, let's create hope in the world. So let us sing with one voice the Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, tegas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyag ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng pangaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang matawag mo'y tagumpay na nag-iibig. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidinig. Lumalang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay mga aking, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Our RCM Makati hymn.
We're the Rotary Club of Makati, and together we stand proud. We are leaders with integrity, always ready to serve humanity, always living by the four-way test, building goodwill and peace along the way. Giving hope to the world. We're the Rotary Club of Makati, prepared to aid our fellow men. As true Rotarians we live to lead. We believe in service above self, and this is why we succeed.
usted. Okay, now we proceed to the four-way test. First, is it the truth? Segundo, is it fair to all concerned? Tercera, will it build goodwill and better friendship? Ultimo, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Okay, acknowledgement of guests. Okay, we'd like to acknowledge our muy guapo district governor nominee, Reggie Nolido. Yes, Reggie. CR. Okay. The beautiful Anne. Beautiful Anne. Yes, Asioche.
Yeah, hey.
Anne Aspinall. The beautiful Jean Chavez. Juan.
Yay!
Timhoko. Ang akong paisana, Queenie Mills. Better half of DTI Secretary, Menchu Pascual. Prin Panlilio. ¿Dónde está? Allá. Christine Turno. Si guapa Marie Segura. Yeah. Tesha Garcia, of course. Okay, the guests of President Bing, A.G. Jima Saduia. You hear it? Oh, wala. Okay. Ami Villatuya, of course. Our guests, Jackie Macasillas from Santuario de San Antonio Parish Scholarship Ministry. Oliver Buenaflor, son of Rotarian Gani Buenaflor. CEO Mavi Almeida Unco from Teach for the Philippines. COO Christopher Henares Chuidian from Teach for the Philippines. Chief of Staff Angel Ramos from Teach for the Philippines. Parang beauty contest, ano? Arambolo, NGF Executive Director. Si Matay, Silk Cocoon, NGF Treasurer. Francis Lim, NGF Director. From Daily Tribune, Teddy Montalibano. And lastly, Pauline Pascual.
Oh, welcome song. Let's do the welcome song.
Lucky will do the
We will do
song.
the welcome song. Sonny Jr. and
Yeah,
CP
okay.
David Ackerman.
Okay, good. Arriba.
The welcome song.
We request RCM parliamentarians to please rise.
We want you to feel that our friendship is real. We are glad you're here today. So take back home a little cheer. Regardless
welcome. Welcome to our guests.
Gracias. Now we proceed to birthday greetings and anniversary. November 24, Mark Gon. November 26, Ed Rojas. And for our Rotarians, mañana, Cecile Dairit.
Hey, Cecil!
Conrado. And Luchis Yarsoko, November 22. Melanie Lagi, November 27. Wedding anniversary. Ronnie and Mencho Concepcion, November 21. David and Alexa Aboitis, November 21.
Okay, let's
Cantar
go.
usted.
Your birthday and wedding day. Let's celebrate this important day. Meet you deep in our hearts in a happy wedding.
Grazie, amigo. Now, do we have any announcement? Have functions and committee announcements? See. Okay. Yeah.
I'd like to invite you for this Friday. We are having SciQuest 2023. This is a project of the Interact Club of General Pio del Pilar. This is our Interact Club. It will be held at the General Pio del Pilar National High School. That's very near Rockwell. It will be held from 12:30 noon to 3 p.m. It's proudly sponsored by RC Makati. And we will witness the brilliant young minds showcase their intelligence in science. So please confirm your attendance by messaging via. Thank you.
Or, oh yeah, Comrade Cesar.
We're inviting the other Rotarians to join us on the medical mission for senior citizens in Teresa on November 25th. Please join us. Thank you.
Yes? Conrado. Ven aquí.
On Saturday, November 25, we are distributing rice and vitamins and other stuff to who have graduated from the drug rehab program that we sponsored. This will be held at the St. Lazarus Chapel at the DOH compound on Avenida Rizal in Manila. So please join us there. It will start at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Any other announcement? Why? Okay. I'll proceed to OWA signing and check turnover to functional literacy program. Dari Almeda. To proceed to the table. Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, we will witness the memorandum agreement between the Rotary Club of Makati and Teach for the Philippines, Inc. May I call upon Ms. Mavi to sign on behalf of Teach for the Philippines, Inc. For the Rotary Club of Makati, we have our muy guapo, Ding Matoto, who will sign agreement. Witnessing this momentous occasion, we also have Director Rodrigo Segura and COO of Teach for the Philippines, Christopher Henares. For everyone's information, the Memorandum of Agreement being signed now pertains to the Functional Literacy Program project. This initiative is designed to develop the basic literacy, numeracy of public school students through parent and teacher partnerships, specifically in, by the club in Kawayan, Isabela. Our club will provide funding of up to 400,000 pesos. The objective of this project is clear: supporting activities focused on helping public school students recover from learning loss and improving the quality of education in the Philippines.
Afternoon, everyone. Thank you for inviting us here. My name is Mavi Umpo. I am the CEO of Teach for the Philippines. Teach for the Philippines is a nonprofit that's been in operation since 2012. but our roots actually go back to 1999. So we've been working in education since 1999, supporting the Department of Education in the improvement of learning outcomes for Filipino students all over the country. Um, we are very thankful today, very honored to be here and to be invited by the Rotary Club of Makati. And of course, very, very grateful for the support, for the financial support that your club has generously given to Teach for the Philippines for running and implementing our functional literacy program. Special mention to President Bing Matoto and Director Rodrigo Segura, who sought us out, found our small organization, and really championed for this support to receive our schools and to support our teachers in their work. Many people are probably not aware that we are in the midst of a learning crisis. So the World Bank actually reported a learning poverty for the Philippines of 90%. That means in reality is 9 out of 10 students in or of 10 years of age cannot read or write at the level that they're supposed to be reading and writing. So that's 9 out of 10. And this is unfortunately a reality that we see across our schools. We run our programs nationwide. We deploy teachers, promising young leaders to serve in high need public schools all over the country. And especially coming out of the pandemic, we have seen that this is the unfortunate reality of many of our schools. This literacy problem is compounded by many factors: poverty, right, health concerns, lack of facilities, under-resourcing. And so for our organization, any support really goes a long way because we are committed to doing our part in improving outcomes for our students. Education is the bedrock of any country's development, and we believe that investing in education is everyone's responsibility. We are very grateful and happy, and honored and humbled to be among allies in this work, people who recognize that each of us has a role to play in building outcomes and building our future as a nation. So thank you so much. And if you wish to learn more about our work, you can visit our website or come up to us and chat, and we'd be happy to talk to you about other programs that we run. Thank you very much. We are very grateful.
Yes, gracias. 2 days ago, RC Makati had a close coordination with CORIS, Council of Intervention Reading Specialists. So we now proceed to classification talk. Senior Michael, you. Oh, ven aquí. Ah, here. Guapo dito.
Good afternoon, everyone. So when Ron invited me to give the classification, he just kind of said, come up and talk about yourself. So that's what I'm going to do. So I started like kind of jotting down what I was going to say. And it became very apparently I was kind of doing my resume. And it felt very boring and for you guys to see. So I'm just going to tell you a few things about myself. Hopefully that will be interest of you. So as you can probably tell by now, I'm not from the Philippines, but I've been here for 15 years already. So I feel like I'm pseudo-Filipino at this moment already, especially having joined the Rotary Club Makati. So a little bit about my background. My name is Michael Su, HSU. And here's a little tidbit. If you ever encounter another person with the last name HSU, that's a very strong signal that that person came from Taiwan. Because in Taiwan, they spell our family name HSU, whereas if this were from China, if I were from China, my last name would spell XU. So from Taiwan, my family immigrated to the US, where I lived for 26 years and studied at there as well. Maybe just a few tidbits here. I married my wife, whom I've known since freshman of college. So together, we've been together 31 years already. Yeah. Thank you. I never got that before. So I have 2 kids. My son is 16 years old, and my daughter is 12. They both are studying at the International School of Manila. So one thing that's, I guess, somewhat unique about our family is that we're a family of musicians. My wife is a pianist, and both my kids play both the piano and the violin. I'm hoping that my son will say yes to perform at our Christmas party together with my wife. Yeah. And this little bit funny thing, my wife has a doctorate in piano. So once she was adjudicating for one of the local competitions, and when they announce her, they say, Dr. Chi Ying Hong. And my daughter looked at me incredulously, doctor? What disease? Anyway, it was I always remember that look on her face, which is really funny. So a little bit about how I got to the Philippines. So my roommate from Yale, he's actually Filipino. And in 2008, my wife and I have the Asianitis. So we want to come live in Asia. And at the time, there was opportunity with American Express, which I was working for at the time. There's an office, there was a position opening in Singapore. So we moved from New York to Singapore. And then a year later, not even a year later, a few months later, Lehman Brothers blew up, right? And so everybody's in crunch time trying to figure out how to streamline the operation. So my job got moved back to New York. And because we're only in Singapore for less than a year at that time, our Asianitis wasn't fixed. So we want a little bit more of that. So I started looking for opportunity in Asia. And my roommate from Yale, his father, happened to be the chief operating officer of Unilab at the time. And he actually hired me for a different function that I've never done before, which is to manage their import, export business in Guangzhou. But I'm not in Guangzhou, right? So I stay for various reasons. But anyway, my responsibilities right now for Unilab is to really help them launch their more innovative products in the Philippines as well as the ASEAN territory. And over the years, I also helped them build their operation in Taiwan, which I oversee. So that's a little bit of my background and a little bit about my kind of professional life. So lastly, let me talk a little bit about what Rotary Club means to me. And just to be totally transparent, the initial motivation really was to kind of like expand my network. And so I asked Dr. Julian to tell me a little more about the Rotary Club, and I started to attend the meetings. And frankly, I think Bing mentioned the same thing to me, that your mind starts to change as you are, how do you say, infected by the Rotary International bug. I really now see the true value of Rotary being a fellowship, the camaraderie we built among us, not just locally in the club, but also outreaching to other territories. I was very fortunate to be invited to join the delegation to Taiwan. And frankly, I've never experienced experience like that. Those people shower us with kindness that is kind of weak to some extent. The other aspect I really truly find valuable about Rotary is the service. I mean, when service above self, sorry, kind of cliche, but I think in Rotary Club Makati and in Rotary International, I think in general, that spirit is real. That spirit is alive. I was very fortunate to join President-elect Harris, Chief Harris, for the Reef Bud ceremony in Bawan. I learned so much, and I really look forward to participating in more of these service events in the future. Thank you.
We now call on our President, Bing Matoto, for the President's time.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Michael, for that great introduction. Michael failed to mention that when we were in Taiwan, he was one of those really fancy dancers there, right, Michael? Good afternoon again, everybody. As we stand on the threshold of the festive season, I'm filled with gratitude for the dedication and active participation of each member in our recent service projects. Last Wednesday marked a pivotal moment for the Ing Hichanova Youth Leadership Awards, or PILA, as we convened for an executive committee and club coordinators meeting. Special thanks to PDG Sid Garcia and all attendees, including PDG Tony Kila, PGN Reggie Nolido, EP Louis Aseoche, EP Bimbo Mills, EP Howie Calleja, Secretary Reggie Panterada, Treasurer Teto Garcia, Rotarians Carlo Ibanez, Butch Jimenez, and Paulo Tuno. Your insights are crucial to the success of PILA, a program that holds great promise for our youth. Responding swiftly to the call for help, last Thursday saw our club extend a helping hand to families affected by severe flooding in Bago Galleria, Davao. And through our collective effort and a donation of 105,000, we partnered with RC Davao to provide essential food packs to 350 families. A special thank you to Director Bom Vilatuya, Chris Fararesa, and of course, Chief of Staff Ron for their swift action in ensuring the success of the relief. Friday took us to Tanay for a 2-in-1 service project, the program and the launch of the last Angel Gift Giving project for this year. Today, I invite you moments to the RC Makati Video News. Please.
In the heart of service, Rotary Club of Makati embarked on a 2-in-1 mission, combining compassion with action. Join us on a journey that unfolded on November 17 as RC Makati set out for Tanay, led by the dedicated President Bing Matoto and an enthusiastic team of Rotarians. Their destination, Rawang Elementary School, nestled in a remote local where the eager team gathered to make a difference in the lives of 91 children from the indigenous Dumagat community. The first mission of the day, the launch of a complementary nutrition program addressing the nutritional needs of undernourished students. A 120-day supply of complementary milk, a small gesture with a big impact on the well-being and development of these children. As the program unfolded, powerful messages resonated. Past President Freddy stressed the importance of healthy eating.
Ang kailangan po natin ay masundan ang guidebook ng paghahanda ng mga pagkain na angkop sa kailangan ng brain development.
While President Bing engaged students in a discussion about the lessons learned. IPP Michael and Director Neil inspired dreams, emphasizing the vital role of a healthy body and mind in achieving them. A significant milestone was reached with the formal signing of agreements with project partners, cementing commitments to the success of this vital initiative. The Last Angel project brought smiles and illuminated faces as carefully selected toys were presented to each child. These gifts not only brought immediate happiness but also created lasting memories for these deserving youngsters. Gratitude extended beyond toys and meals. Each child received vitamin C courtesy of Unilab, donated by baby Rotarian Michael Su, and palm oil from Glenn and Christine Gatuslao. Dedication and collaboration, we can indeed shoot two birds with one stone, nourishing both bodies and souls. Join us as we continue to make a lasting impact on communities, embodying the true essence of service above self.
Commitment to learning and camaraderie shown through on Friday evening during TRF night, masterfully organized by PE Keith Harrison. It was a valuable session shedding light on the Rotary Foundation and its impactful programs. Following this, we joyously celebrated our October and November celebrants during Friday night lights, emphasizing the bonds we create as a Rotary family. Significant milestone was also achieved in Davao, where we signed on a MOA with RC Davao and RC Cagayan de Oro for our Books Across the Seas, BATS program. Derek Tan, thank you for representing our club in this initiative. And of course, big thank you to Ron as well. Both Derek and Ron braved the earthquake in Davao. Their presence there was instrumental in strengthening our books distribution program in Mindanao. Saturday brought forth 2 service projects with Reef Buds deployment in Bawan, Batangas, and a seminar for 50 teachers, raising awareness on learning disabilities. During these particular activities, quite a few members also participated, creating the commitment to environmental sustainability and education. Kudos to PE Keith Harrison, Director Winston Uy, Anton Cabrera, Michael Shu, Director Bom Villatuya, and Boyer Teche for representing our club in these endeavors. Season, I urge you to support the Last Angel Project, led by IPP Michael and Papa Escaler. This cherished tradition aims to bring joy to over 2,000 kids. Your donations will undoubtedly make a significant impact and spread warmth during this festive season. Finally, let's come together to celebrate the season of joy at our Christmas party December 8th at the McKinley Room of the Manila Polo Club. The theme is Paskong Pinoy, and the attire is modern Filipiniana and barong. So a great entry for silk cocoon, right? For the very colorful and unique barong. You should try it out there at the New World. Where do you have your barong made? Not a silk cocoon? You should try out her barong, her designs. All right. Well, during that evening, we will start with Mass at 5 p.m., followed by cocktails at 6 p.m., and the formal program at 6:30 p.m. A fantastic band awaits, so don't forget your dancing shoes. Kindly confirm your attendance for an accurate food count. Thank you very much for your unwavering commitment and joy to bring to our Rotary family. Let's continue to make a difference and encourage everybody, both the aunts and the members, please join in our projects. Thank you.
Gracias, El Presidente. Now we'd like to call on PP Rene Limbuco for the introduction of our beautiful guest speaker.
Our topic this afternoon is about emotional crisis and suicide prevention, or a holistic approach to mental and emotional well-being. That's true. There is a rumor that Ladies' Day today because more women choose to end their life. Contrary, among groups, it is said that the highest rate of suicide is among middle-aged people, especially men. However, the topic may be especially relevant for mothers, as while the Philippines still falls under the countries with the least suicide rates, states has observed that there has been a substantial increase in the suicides in the last 2 decades, from 0.9 per 100,000 population for men, 0.12 to 1.6 in per 100,000 population for women. Filipinos have contemplated ending their lives, according to the nationwide survey conducted by the UP Population Institute of Health. So mothers very well accomplished. And of the Natasha Goulbourn Foundation. Seven emotional crisis and suicide prevention hotline. Founder and CEO of the Health and Emotional Health. Who says passion and suicide don't mix? Our guest speaker is also fashion designer and retailer, and the owner and fashion designer of Silk Cocoon at the New World Hotel. Also the founder and president of the Wellness Lifestyle Clinic, Vital Source Company. Studied at the St. Paul College. Bachelor of Arts, majoring in psychology and journalism, and went on to the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, USA, which is why she was the assistant fashion editor of McCall's magazine in New York. She was the buyer for 7 departments of Joseph Magnin in New York, and she is the fashion consultant and creative technical director of SM department stores. Aside from all that, if that is not enough, she is the country representative of the International Association for Suicide Prevention, and she is a member of the Management Association of the Philippines. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you our guest speaker, Jean Goulbourn.
Thank you very much. It's indeed a great pleasure to be here. And I'm very, very excited to tell you a lot of information. And I'm also here to find partners. Not romantic partner for me, but for the foundation. Because I'm a widow. So I always tease people I need a romantic partner. Life has been very, very in a way, kind to me as a person. And I dreamt as a little girl to be a movie script writer. If not a movie script writer, an actress. I tried both. And I couldn't sing in the Sound of Music. And I know that Mr. Michael has music in his family. So I'm going to tap you. You're not getting away. And I couldn't sing. So I thought, no way, I'll just be a script writer. So as I come towards you, to you this afternoon, please open your heart and look back to what you were when you were 7, 12 years old. Remember, you dreamt of something at that age of being an actress. Go back to your 19 to 25 years old. I dreamt of being a script writer. But something happened. I had to earn money fast because something happened. And in life, there's no guarantee. We lost 5 properties from a wrong and not a very kind gesture of business friends. So with my father having financial problems, I know now what a financial problem is. To be able to live in New York with $2 a day, FIT, a model for Slims, who is now a national artist, my aunt, Slims. I was too proud to ask money from anyone. And I thought, if I just drink soup and eat Nathan's or choose between that and a hot dog in the corner, I could own Yves Saint Laurent boots. Craving for material things was never in my line. I could just live reading books and imagining writing script for Hollywood because that was my dream. So I did take up investigative journalism because my father, being Chinese, Michael, he told me, what if you don't get a job and your script will just be thrown in the waste can? So I needed to learn investigative journalism so I could be a Julia Daza, as what my father wanted. Or later he said I could be a Karen Davila. But my husband, who I met, Canadian, founded the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, Sydney Goulbourn. I married him in 100 days. I'm telling you this because I'm really out of the box. I would like to tell you, let's think out of the box today. That's what I'm requesting. That's why I'm opening up a little bit of my life story. My father said, where do you get the money if all your script is rejected? You better take up investigative journalism, which I did. And having done so, it has been this past 18 years since I started the Natasha Goulbourn Foundation. I become a student of life. And somebody here asked me, are you a doctor? Yes, I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor of life and love. So please forgive me, but I would like to say, in spite of that, I belong to the Senator Win Gatchalian team of technical team for basic education, mental health. We were 12, and 2 of our consultants and myself, 3 of us, sat on that board. Finished, our last meeting was last September before I left for Slovenia. And I would like to share with you, before I show you a background of who we are, Slovenia, 80 countries are now members. And the question of everyone is, what's happened? Our generation X, Y, Z, and now they have a new name for this new generation because they ran out of alphabets after Z. So, are you a grandmother, a grandfather of a 4-year-old or an 18-year-old? You have no guarantee that your grandson, grandchild, loved with a family full of love, even spiritual foundation background, can be a Buddhist, can be a born again, can be a Catholic. You have no guarantee that your lawyer son at 42 will take his life. No guarantee that 2 in your family of doctors would take their life. It happened in Guam 9 years ago. 2 cousins and an in-law, all in the medical field. 1 took the life in the family, 2 others followed suit, the father and the aunt. So there is no guarantee. We call that copycats. I know it's the season to be happy, but I look forward to this season with you as a season of joy and hope. What I will tell you is not too sad. Don't be sad, but my daughter took her life 21 years ago. I had no one to blame but myself. Was I a very career-oriented woman? Yes, I was. Why? Because I know what it was to eat hot dog, tomato soup, or mushroom soup for 8 months to be able to own an Yves Saint Laurent boots. And why did I need an Yves Saint Laurent boots? Because I was assigned by McCall's magazine. I was the only one assigned to write about international fashion. So I covered the European designers. I covered Chanel, Gucci, Fendi. That was my job at the age of 23. So do I know what poverty is? I think I do. So was I an OFW? In a way, but elegant and chic. And today at 76, an elegant beggar. I don't really want to use that word, but I no longer want to beg. And so what I say is, welcome partners to my life. So today, thank you. Thank you. So that's a short intro of the character of the foundation, because as of now, I'm really looking forward to passing the candle as I'm turning 77 next year. And I'd like to travel a lot. I will still be more involved with IASP, International Association of Suicide Prevention. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. Okay, so we started 17 years ago, 18 years ago. Tasha died 2002. So now we're 2023. So that's 21 years ago. She would have been 28 years old. I don't know if we have a picture of her, but she was a designer for Nine West, and she was my New York girl. I have one child left. She is a designer, but she is my French girl. She studied in Paris, lived there for 3 years, speaks French fluently, and worked with Christian Lacroix. So I thought that I would have a dynasty of designers, and the Goulbourn house, which I wanted, like the house of Dior. That was my dream. But God does not always, it's not about God. Life does not always give you what you dream about. So when I saw 128 dolphins after fighting with God, I did fight with him, really fight. I'll be a Buddhist. There's no point for me to be a Catholic. How dare you take my child away, who was the kindest person at the age of 5, would cross the street just to give coins from her piggy bank to a blind beggar. I've never met a kinder child than her. She cooked for me. She invited all my friends, and Anne Aspinall is here, and Anita and John and Margaret Underwood, all the lady friends I had, a little bit older than me, some of them in heaven. My daughter would visit them in their homes and bring them the latest moisturizer, French. She would spend $18, $28 out of her salary to make someone happy, a friend of my mom. So this is the child I lost to suicide. What were the symptoms? I'll tell you the symptoms. But after I fought with God, I saw the 128 dolphins. They danced for 8 minutes, 5 rows, exactly like they would in that big, what is that? Not Disneyland, but Asia. They danced. And in that dance, there was a rainbow. I'm telling you, as I talk to you now, I'm having goosebumps. And when I have goosebumps, she's here with me. Sat down in the Bangkok. We were 13. No one could take a picture. I just raised my hand and said, okay, I'm back. And dolphins, she's in hell. She's in heaven. 5 dolphins, she would be in purgatory. 3 dolphins, she would be in hell. So that moment, I knelt down. And from that moment on, every minute of my life in service. photographer from Forbes Park or from Tondo. They call me at 2 in the morning. I answer the phone. Because a child lost is Natasha lost all over again. From me, I thought as a stupid mother. But the priest in Our Lady of Lourdes in France said, I'm not that stupid. And I should. At instant, I felt the love and the forgiveness of God and the forgiveness of my daughter telling me, it's not about you. Perhaps it's the medication, Mama. So I've done nothing but study about the medication for depression. There is no medication that can heal depression. None. And if you wish, you can talk to Dr. Ricardo Soler, a psychiatrist who practiced. He is my Renaissance man. I adore this man. He is known. He is the first one to set up a spa in the Philippines. He's the first one to have the makeup, Joe Andrew. He is a businessman, the first man to export furniture from the Philippines. What was he? A psychiatrist. Why did he give up psychiatry? Because he said, I practiced for 7 years. There is no medicine that can fix depression. It can help put the person to a calm state. It can help the person go to sleep. But the only one that can fix depression is family, is the love of family, is the forgiveness of society, and not talking about the stigma and the understanding and the love, the compassion, the show of kindness, the music that your wife can play on the piano, your wife, Michael, the doctor of piano. So that is the healing factor. So as I move forward, there are more than 700,000 people who die of suicide every year. This is an old stat. This was done, I think, in 2017 or 2018. Post-pandemic, don't think that suicide has gone down. Our calls hit 5,400 in 1 month. During the pandemic, I had 14 responders. I got 6 beautiful volunteers, 1 priest, 1 nun, 1 65-year-old accountant who I said no to, but when I heard her voice, so much energy, so much love and compassion, I said, I'll give this woman a try because we're desperate. 5,600 calls in 1 month. 93-year-old saying, I'd rather take my life. I live alone. I want to take my life because my children have totally neglected me. That is the calls I got. We got a 7-year-old call asking, my father's a doctor. My mother doesn't live with us. They're divorced. Help me with my homework. That was a 7-year-old. So my dear friends, my new friends today, I am here to bring you joy that with other in the season of joy, I give you the chance and the privilege to give joy and give create. And the global situation is every 40 seconds there's a death. Out of 10 attempts, 4 are done by men, and 3 out of 4 are successful. See, men, you're more powerful. Try to do something, and you get it done. 6 of the women out of the 10 who try and attempt suicide, 3 of them fail. In other words, I think we women are not as strong as we think we are. Or we use method that is gentle, but the men don't use gentle method. They go for the real action and the powerful method. So out of the 3 that survived, there will be one more that will finally take her life successfully on the 4th attempt. A woman, a girl, takes 2, 3, and 4 attempts before she ends her life. My daughter took 2. First one, she said it was an overdose because, Mom, I just wanted to sleep. Those are the symptoms. I couldn't sleep for 7 months. She would sleep at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and wake up at 12. So watch out for your grandchildren who sleep 4 in the morning. Watch out for your law student. Watch out. Watch out for your 28-year old son, daughter. The stress of being a lawyer is so strong. Very strong. Am I right, Paul? A little, but thank you because I like him. I like very much his aura because there's a lot of light and positive. He is able to handle stress. That's very rare, but I'm putting him into my foundation because of the light. As I look at you, I see 4 people with the light because I have a third eye. I will approach you, not now, but I'll get from being your name and being this is really a great pleasure. And Rene, thank you. Great pleasure for me to be here. Is the Philippines a happy country? 1 out of every 3 has a mental health problem. You are the best actresses in the world. So, yay! Here's a great acting job. But are we really happy? No. Know how to hide it so well. I am guilty. I don't want to show my sister, wherever she is, Frances, and Pixie, who's my adopted sister. I call her a sex therapist. My sister there, and Rene, and my sister Emily. I never show them when I'm depressed. I always say I'm fine. But every time there's still a bit of ego, I get rejected by a large company, huge company. I ask for 2 million to train 200 teachers. I get rejected. I take that, as Rene would say, a personal failure. I say, what's wrong with me? Is it because I have wrinkles? I'm 76? Or is it because I'm already a has-been designer? Or what is it? Is it about the way I talk? Do I have still that little bit of New York attitude, direct to the point? Can I not talk the Visayan way, like boy? A little bit gentle, not straight to the point, a lot of curves before we hit the target. I can't do that. Why? Because I'm 80% Chinese. Eddie knows. And in Chinese, Michael knows. It's so hard for us to be terribly diplomatic and act as though we don't need anything. I need something, and I'm not acting. So the Philippines can be a very happy country. I really orphanage. I wanted to feed only the poor. I worked with street children for 3 years under a Jesuit priest, Father Jean Francois. And that was when Natasha was 18 years old. No, 22. She helped me. Did you know on my birthday, when I turned 50, in one lunch, I got 4.5 million pesos from 50 girlfriends. Today, for me to get 2 million to train 200 teachers is a big effort that I've been said no to by 3 banks. So I'm not sure whether it's the deposit I have with them or it's my personality. I don't know yet the answer why I got turned down, but Bing will help me. He'll polish up. He'll polish up the way I present, the corporate way, because maybe they look at me as a very sad artist, not knowing that I have a little bit of brain beyond design, a little bit more brain. Somehow God gave it to me. That's why I work 9 hours a week. I take online classes. I'll give you the names if anyone's interested. I teach this. I'll give you the names of 5 of my really idol online classes. So today, in the corporate world, we are missing $1 trillion per year in productivity. So this is what happened in Slovenia. I will try to get that lecture and I'll try to give it to Bing so that your president can share with you that lecture that I attended. It was done by an economist talking about how you don't invest in prevention, your productivity goes really low, really low. Bullying in the corporation, you know who are our callers? Call center. They are bullied. I know a girl, she's alive. She tried to take her life. She was sexually molested by her brother, and the mother didn't believe that at 12 she was molested. The mother did not believe. I know her very well. She decided to grow really fat so that her brother won't find her attractive. Had in for 4 years. Up to today, she's not normal. She called me an angel one moment, and the following day, she called me a bitch. Not normal. But the intelligence of the brain in my whole 60 years, 50 years of hiring more than 8,000 people for JM Goulbourn, because we did deliver and we made 22 million pesos a month 30 years ago in my brand of fashion called JM Goulbourn. I never met a woman as intelligent as this young girl who today shows off herself with the plunging neck, the cleavage, because deep inside her, she really wants to be loved by a real man who will say, "Will you marry me?" No relationship lasts with her because of that incident from 12 to 16 years old. Now, I know a mother. She used to live in Forbes. It's not a guessing game. You'll never know who she is. 9 children and brother molested 2 sisters. I still know them now. Did the mother accept? Did the mother see through? No. The 2 girls are still very much bothered. So this is what my foundation does. This is what it does. It's a preventive. We do prevention. And because of that prevention, I decided instead of working with Dole, I tried. Instead of working with Dole, I decided upon the invitation of brother Arvin Luistro, who was then the secretary of DepEd, to sign a contract. So with that, we have 45 books that cost me, it's only 2 concerts. I got 3.6 million, and that paid for the books. I have it now. It's, I think my girl, Michelle, will show it to you per table here. This is under prevention. I would like to work with you. The group that just signed an MOU with Rotary, please work with me. It's sarili, ang sarili ko. about who I am. The English version will be done by January 20. This one is Pamilya, my family, Kapwa, my colleagues, my friends, and then here it means my dream, my career. 45 books for grades 4 to 12, training period for the 2,200,000 teachers we can train. The training is 28 hours. Training, intensive training. 6 months, review by Zoom. After 6 months, the teachers have to sign with us. They will cascade to 3 teachers every month. So as of March, I invite all of you to come to Iloilo with me. We are graduating 2,500 teachers. With 2 million pesos, how much is that per teacher? 1 year involvement of Natasha Goulbourn Foundation. I will get you the stats, and Rene Arambulo has the stats of what we have done. So I told Congressman Fergie Biron, I'll do it. And I'm going to surprise Senator Win Gatchalian. I've got the numbers. I am not on social media. You won't see me on Instagram. You won't see me on Facebook. I don't advertise what I do. But because you are the family that belongs to a beautiful man, President Bing Matoto, I open my heart to you. I will not open it to another organization. You get first crack and the privilege to work with us. So give me hope this Christmas. For 2, we do postvention. We do intervention. 11 years of Hope Line. Our calls are 8 times more than Department of Health. And Department of Health responders send their high-risk callers to Natasha Goulbourn Hope Line. Do you see the picture? Get the picture? And we were with the Department of Health with 55 million budget during Pauline Ubial. I only spent 7 million for my caravan. And in my caravan, I talk 5 days. I go with 18 doctors. I talk. It's intensive. One group, all parents, 800 parents. One group, all students, 3,000 students. One group, all teachers from DepEd and private, 4,000 teachers. That's how I do my campus caravan. How much is it worth? 3.7 million. With that, for 5 years, 3 years, 0 suicide. Bicol University, 85,000 students. Prior to our program, 3 to 11 suicide a year. After our program, in the intervention and the prevention, 0 suicide campus. Only 1 suicide, August 19, 2021. A student from public school went there to be first-year college. On the 3rd week, committed suicide. After that, it's been another 2 years, 0 suicide. This is the effect of our program. So I only tell it to you, please don't publicize it, because I have 5 more schools to go before I can really say it works. 1 school is not enough for me. I'm a little bit greedy. Remember Hamilton? You just see the show Hamilton? I'm never satisfied. That's my song. I'm never satisfied. Never. Not satisfied with 1 school to talk about it. Roel Maranan of Ayala Foundation said, why don't you publicize it? What for? There's only 1 school. There's 60,000 schools of DepEd. 7 million children, 1 million teachers. Should I publicize that I trained 2,500 teachers Is that good enough? Not good enough for me. If we don't hit the 30% of DepEd, it's not good enough for me. I can't lay and bring my candle to another group to handle it. So I think I'm a little bit ambitious, but I hope you understand because there's too little time. The second one we have under intervention is called superior. Now, this is where I want your children to be part of us. I need intelligent young adults, 18 to 38 years old, to be part of superior heroes. Why? Because with President Matoto, you can handle 17 regions. Each one has 10 training from your children. I will train your children how to be trainers, how to be leaders, and how to really understand what is the Philippines all about. This is the country I love. I gave up being a Canadian passport holder, and I have two sisters who are American. They're there right now, Emily. One of my most, she's the one who defends me. She's the one who sends me money when I don't have. And they all feel bad because they know I need 12 million pesos to keep Hopeline going. I need 12 million. Why? Because my Hopeline responders pass through psychological tests every 4 months. Before we train them, they have to pass 6 pages of psychological assessment. How much do I pay them? How much do we pay them? They start at 22,000 pesos a month. And then we pay them 28,000 for 8-hour service. For night service, Menchu, we give them 4,000 extra. They earn 32,000. Why? Because I'm competing with the call centers. I'm competing with HR. And what do our corporations use? We only have 5,000 registered, certified mental health doctors for 120 million Filipinos. What does Australia have? 140,000 guidance counselors and psychologists for schools for 40 million population Australia. And we have 5,000. Where are the deaths coming from? OFW. We're so proud. Our country is surviving on bad times from OFW remittances. Well, Mr. Matoto, he's a banker. He can refute and argue with me because I'm just a dreamer. I have interviewed on the moment that after I saw the dolphins, I said, Lord, I've been so lucky from $2 a day, and I drank tomato soup. I took tomato soup and hot dog from the corner. Oh, it was a good Jewish hot dog, so don't worry about me. Okay, what happened? Something interesting has happened. I decided for 2 years after the death of my daughter, Lord, I give you mortification. I want her in heaven. Nowhere but in heaven. If not, you take me today. So what did I do? After riding first class, business class, $800 a night, I decided to ride economy. And one time, I got stuck on economy at the back of an airplane. It was short trip only. And the guys who came in were 7 workers from Qatar. Oh my God. They said, Mom, are you sure you're on the right seat? I said, yes, it's a full flight. Mom, we're right beside the toilet and the toilet is dirty. I said, I know. And Mom, we smell. We've been on the road for 18 hours and we've got 8 hours more to go. And we have to sit beside you. I said, don't worry about it. But I could really smell them. And my sense of smell is sensitive, very sensitive, my nose and my ears. So I said, Lord, cover my nose. And I didn't have perfume in my wallet, in my handbag. I said, please just cover my nose and let me think of another thing. My father taught me how to do visualization. So I visualized that they were all smelling nice. It's part of acting. Your mind has to visualize. And they're all not smelly. And I said, come on, we have 8 hours. 4 hours, we will exchange life story. Tell me your life. You have 20 minutes, 20 minutes. So 7 gave me 20 minutes. That is 140 minutes of life story. Oh my God. I cried. And when we arrived at the airport, what do you think happened? Charged $100 for an old television that they were bringing home to their children. I fought with the people in immigration. Said, look, I have here 3 carpet. Silk, charge me. Here, I want to be a good citizen of this country. I will pay the tax. Now, I have shoulder pads, 3,000 pairs of shoulder pads. Lift my balikbayan box. It's shoulder pad for it was the women empowered look in the 80s. So my jacket had big shoulder pads. I said, look, guys, you want to open a factory that produces shoulder pad? I'll buy from you. It is such a hassle for me to buy from Hong Kong or wherever. Did you know? I said, don't charge these boys. They work so hard for 2 years. They haven't seen their children. I want to know who's in charge of immigration and customs. I met him. His name was Mr. Templo. I'm not embarrassed to tell you. It's a true story. I met him. I said, Mr. Templo, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Jeannie Goulbourn. I'm a designer. I sat down with 7 of our OFW. They are the ambassadors of hope. Kasi pag walang pera, ang country natin, ginagamit natin yung mga kanilang pinapadala na pera. So he said, what can I do for you? You tell your customs not to charge these guys. These are second-hand television and radio. You tell them or not, I put your name in all the 5 newspapers. Manila Bulletin, Inquirer, Star. I'll put you on television for an interview. I can put you on Karen Davila. Who else? Said, please come out with me. They all got out. Not 1 centavo did they pay. And I went there. Mr. Templo, there were 2 women. I know them. They're from Forbes Park. They're my client at JM Goulbourn. They showed me the diamonds that they bought. There were 5 carats. Why were they not taxed? They left with an escort. Now tell me, Mr. Templo, why do you have prejudice in this country? Hindi ba magkakapatid tayo? Hindi ba sabi ng Catholic Church, brothers and sisters tayo lahat? All treatment. So that's what I did. So please forgive me. I've gone a little bit away because this is our country. Let's change the mindset. If you don't do it, who else will? I am saying it because you're such a small group. I can't say this to 2,000 people. I'm just saying because you have so much camaraderie. I saw you singing your song. I saw you greeting somebody with anniversary and happy birthday. You are a family to being Matoto. You are a family to Boy, to Rene. You are all a family. Let's change the mindset. And this giving and not about you. Giving and the church telling me that I have to donate, I have to give to the poorest of the poor. There's something good about that, but there's something bad. You know what a French economist told me? We in Mexico are poor because we're a Catholic country. That sounds very weird to me. But why are we poor? Because we encourage poverty. What should we give next time? Can I join you for climate change? We will ask everybody in Batangas, Bulacan, who owes more than 20 hectares of land, lend us 2 hectares and get 20 families to plant vegetable organic. 30% goes to the owner of the land. 70% is for sale. 20% goes to the family that planted. And 50% is for sale. They to harvest and plant. Instead of playing social media. Sorry, can I borrow? Social media. This is the culprit of depression. This, before I end my talk, this is the culprit. What do your daughters and sons do, including my daughter and my son-in-law? This, or TV for the kids to become the new babysitter. Now, my sister has been looking for a caregiver for 8 months. We can't find any caregiver. The poverty in the country, I'm wondering, why can I not find a caregiver? We're willing to pay 18,000 a month. None. So my question is, where are the poor that is willing to work? Let's look for them. When you give the food, make an X deal. Give you this food, but show me your house and build vegetables in your window. I'm sorry, sir. I saw you looking at your watch. I think you're right. I've overpassed my talk. Thank you, sir, for reminding me. Thank you, sir. So this is where we're at. And we have postvention. And Rene will show us the postvention. And in the postvention, you will see a private with 48,000 kids, grade 5, committed suicide. Look at the percentage of affected kids within 3 weeks. Now, if the schools and the government law cannot fix it, beware, Philippines. The statistics you're getting from Department of Health is not the correct statistics, Michael. Welcome to the Philippines. Why? I know 3 mothers who paid their doctors to say it was aneurysm, but their children committed suicide. I know. Doctors put aneurysm. Come to the Philippines. We can turn the laws upside down. Nobody will catch us anyway. Not the right one. But the statistics of my Hope Line are for real. In the postvention, 58% to 63% were affected. Out of that, if you look, Rene, can you please put that? Look at the effect. Only with the no depression, we had 30%, and the rest were affected. So, unless this is fixed in a corporation, one suicide can yield 7 to 18 more copycat in a period of 3 days to 1 year. This is also like an epidemic. It is like an epidemic. It's sad to hear that. But if anyone is too sad today, please come see me. I promise you a beautiful dancing time, December 7 at Silcocoon. So, is there any questions? I open the door now for questions. Please, you can refute what I said, but welcome. Thank you for having me in your family of very beautiful people who serve the country. Please allow me to serve beside you. Make me a partner. I will not disappoint you at all. I promise. And if I disappoint you, tell me straight to my face. I'll correct it. Thank you.
Wow, what a powerful talk. So, any questions from the audience? Pregunta, por favor. Ay. Okay, Conrado. Okay.
Miss Goulbourn, yeah. Jean, yeah. You know, even here in our Rotary Club, one of our past presidents lost a son to suicide. Um, Apparently, there were no symptoms, or so how do you deal with something where you don't have a clue of what's going on? And when you talk, and you know, when they talk to their son, there was no indication that he was even depressed or something.
It's the happy. So can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's called the happy depressed. They
Depressed.
keep on smiling like my daughter. It looked as though there was nothing wrong. But there are 8 symptoms I'd like to tell you which medical doctors don't. Number 1 is there's already something bothering that person but keeps smiling. And very attentive, more attentive to the parents, more gentle, happier, more giving. That's a little sign. They're more thoughtful than normal, more thoughtful. Number 2, it can also be the opposite. They become Hawaii. They argue with you a lot because there's something they cannot solve. They sleep or they don't sleep at all. But this one is very interesting. I didn't see it from my daughter. She gave away all her things. She said, I'm just cleaning up. Away her clothes, her shoes, and her jewelry. And the worst is, I should have seen it. She gave a dog who she loved with all her life. And she had to tell me that that dog was my first grandchild. So on my bed, and so we could adjust because she was thinking of traveling. I didn't know she traveled forever for good. Finally. So those are the things. And she rearranged my whole factory. She was 27 when she passed away. 2002. She would have been 48 February 25. She rearranged the whole factory. She told me who to smoke, who to fire. She rearranged all, even my bodega, because she was a very, very, she adored me. And she, for 3 months, for all my friends, so all my girlfriends came to eat her cooking. She was a great cook. And then she partied. Once they make up their mind, they party. That's the happy depression. And they don't show any sign. But if you go into their social media, you can get them quoting from a beautiful poetry, but there are innuendos in the poetry that they're showing or the lyrics of a song. And then they might show photos of themselves when they were little because they're going back to that happy moment when they had no pressure, when they had no failure. They go back. And then she was showing me a lot of her photographs when she was a little girl. Mom, do you remember this? When you bought my first dating suit and I wanted a bikini, she was 7 years old. They go back. And it's their way of saying, I had a lovely time with you, mom, or I had a great time with you, grandfather. So those are the things. It's so hard to figure out. So when you talk about there's a medicine, you give Prozac, Google Prozac under UK, Google Prozac. They have more than 2,000 court, how do you call it, cases, and each of them was given about 2 to 8 million pounds to pay for a death. My daughter was on 5 medications. That's why our foundation po is holistic. We look at all angles. We're going to have music therapy. And by the way, in our research, we have had 4 researchers. We're partnered with POH, DepEd. We had partner. I belong to the technical team also of Philippine Mental Health Commission. Before the law, the Philippine Mental Health Law was passed. But I don't have a doctorate degree. So they called me, sino yung babaeng yang nag-e-epal? I didn't even know what epal meant. I didn't know what it meant. But to answer that question, it's so hard to tell. So I blamed myself. I blamed myself for being stupid. Can you imagine a psychology major? And according to my teacher, Miss Mota, it's been 17 years since anyone stopped the exam on psychology. So she wanted me to be a doctor. I
Okay.
said, no, I want to earn money. If I'm a psychologist, I'll never make it. I'll never be able to earn money to travel first class.
Okay, thank you. We have another question from Past President Bimbo.
Thank you very much for the statistics. In particular, we never knew that it was that bad. But when you suspect uh, possible suicide, what do? You talk to them directly about it, or what?
The best is to talk directly, which I was told by 8 psychiatrists. On my board, I would like, if you will allow me, I would like to bring 2 of the best that I have. And if you will allow me, I'll give to thing, the one that Rene Arambolo did. And it is understanding the symptoms. And it came from, okay, since I am a very, very frustrated movie script writer, Rene and I made a movie of 4 episodes. Each one was 1 hour and 15 minutes. If you will allow me, may I share it with you? For any kind of Christmas donation you can give me, it's okay. If it's 10 pesos mula sa puso, okay. If it's 10,000 pesos, okay. Rene will share Itaewon. When you see the Itaewon, you will look and you will know the symptoms and the triggers of the millennial on what triggers them for suicide. And I will make sure if you give me a date in January or Feb, the month of love, if you give me a date, 100 to watch the episode, and any donation will be really accepted by us. I will have 4 doctors on the board. They will answer all your questions. Is that game? Is that good?
Yeah.
As a follow-up of this privilege of
Yeah.
talking to all of you.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah. See.
Good.
Any further questions?
Yes, Rene.
See.
You mentioned that the gathering of statistics in this country is very poor. I think it will be a worthwhile endeavor to put pressure or encourage the government to come up with the right statistics so that the government itself can focus more on mental health and emotional well-being. In fact, if I recall, in Bhutan, they do not measure gross national product, they measure gross national happiness. And I think Bhutan and Switzerland are high on the list. The Philippines is probably down below. If we can move the government shift to these measures and have indicators that they follow, I think we would have contributed a lot in getting the government to move on this issue of mental health.
Okay.
What he's saying, because there's no way of really counting. And when I went to Slovenia, they kept on hammering to us what we need. What we need are your statistics from your country. That's what we need.
Oh.
So I need it now. And your question, and the question is so timely because I have to go back to Vienna. I invite you to travel with us. Make it a
Austria.
junket.
Yeah.
And help me with the statistics.
Okay.
And that we pressure DepEd. I don't know who in DepEd, but I'm dealing with a very nice gentleman called Yusek Dexter Galban. So with the approval of Bing, and if we sign a very gentle, nice memorandum of understanding, I will invite him to be here. And then we already have a survey paper for companies, corporation, and we should have that survey for parents and families. Is that good?
Yeah.
Is that good? There's the survey paper looks very innocent, and I'll try to get to get it on just that we can do online for families, and then we'll give you the results.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we'd like to ask a response from our president, Bing Matataw.
What can I say, Jeannie? After
What
such
can
a
I
very dramatic and compelling and powerful talk that you shared with us, yes, the Rotary Club of all Rotary clubs, for that matter, really promote service above self and certainly mental health and the well-being of our young. It's extremely important to us, and we'd be more than happy to see how we could collaborate. I mean, I think I mentioned to you before lunch that in the Rotary Club, in the world of Rotary, there is this segment of the world that is also focusing on the young. We have the Rotaract, we have the Interact. I mentioned to you, for example, as well, that we have this ongoing award, recognition of outstanding leaders among the young. We call Pahingecho Nova Youth Leadership Achievement. And so we would be pleased to see and explore in greater detail, perhaps with Sila Rene and with Julian, Julian is the director in charge of the youth segment. And of course, we've got Rodrigo, whom you know, who provides training, as a matter of fact. No? So we'd like to see how we can be of some help. And regarding that offer you made, as far as sharing with us, I believe, is it a video or is it a video? Again, we'll see what we can do. And you're saying that the video together then with a certain board, is that what you're saying? Who could be present? Okay. So in other words, it's an online. So in other words, the video can be shared virtually. Is that it? Okay. 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 I'm sure we can arrange that with other clubs in the Rotary world. So yes, we'll see what we can do. In so far as actual material support is concerned, I heard what you said. We of course are certain, we operate under certain constraints. We have a budget to work with. At the same time, we do have members. We do have members like Eddie. We've got members like Tito Panlilio and so many people here who can be tapped to provide support in meaningful ways. No? And we can also tap, actually, a project that perhaps we could tap our sister clubs, both here and abroad. So we'll see. I mean, we got to explore it. No? So we'll sit down on it. And thank you again very much, Jeannie, for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
El
to show
Presidente.
appreciation. To show appreciation, Jeannie. Okay. First, let me explain. This particular certificate of appreciation is kind of unique for us. You see this? This is a plaque that is pasted on a reef bud. We talked about the reef bud last, was it Saturday when they went to Batangas? And that reef bud goes down into the sea. So our members and our guest speakers, their names are all there. So this we'd like you to have. And we also have a bit of bragging here. This is for 55 years. Rotary. We're now on our 57th, going 58. Some of us are here, some of us are not yet here. The younger ones, like, the young man here, Anton, who's an artist, by the way, is there. And so you can look at this at your leisure. Let me put it here. It's can. Oh yeah, we're trying to lower average age. And then finally, as you take a look at that, you've got this to enjoy. Hopefully, anytime, anytime. All right. Okay, with that, I would like to call this meeting and adjourn. Thank you very much.
Wait, mga tigulang.
Pwede invite